just taking a person at face value and their word.
Yeah.
Like, what they say is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
don't make up in your head.
You can't make up in your head. Or, you know, what it is what it says.
You kind of feeling it?
Hey, sis.
Hey, sis.
We're back.
We're back. 2024, you guys. This is a mother-daughter podcast talking about breaking generational curses through constructive communication.
Yes. So, as you guys can notice, we've made just some minor changes. We decided to change the name of our podcast to Gracefully Growing. I chose this name because I felt like it emphasized of what we really talk about here and where we're going. And then we move with grace, just always through life. So, moving into chapter 2, into the new year, this chapter is going to be called Evolving. It's really just an emphasis on growing within ourselves and how we can just continue to be better and grow each and every day. The topic today, or the question today, is, are you making choices that align with your overall well-being?
Okay. And first, before we jump into the topic, I really just want to reflect on 2023.
Okay.
By doing this podcast and our first introduction, it's basically, for me, it's like a reflection on parenthood and learning that the reflection that I see through you and your sister is also teaching me about being and becoming a better person, and also to a better parent. Because as parents, I don't feel that we ever stop growing. We never stop learning and, you know, wanting to become a better person, just a better being. So my reflections in 2023, it was good. It was good. It was a learning experience. Some of the things in 2023, I'm going to say this. I was gracefully broken. I was gracefully broken. That's something that I'm learning in reference to God. And also, I learned about deception. Being deceived was a great lesson. And being able to recognize when deceit is in front of me. And also 2023, which I heard a message, and it was kind of hard to kind of like grasp that, but how we as humans participate in deception, in our own deception. We always look outward, but we've had conversations about that with you and Courtney, how I tell you all, you know, don't first look outward or look at the other person, but look at yourself.
Yeah.
What about yourself that you're projecting? Because I feel like if humans would look more inward, then we would learn and also know that that person that we are in relationship with, whatever the relationship may be, because this podcast is about the relationship not just being about parenthood, a romantic relationship, a friendship, a business relationship. We always have to go back to what are we projecting about ourselves to that other person. So 2023 was about that. Also, 2023 to me was also emphasized, even though I'm into juicing and eating right, it also was kind of scary with my health because I had to have surgery. And not looking at that surgery as something that was detrimental. But if something had went wrong in that surgery, because I remember, because your sister was with me, and I was like, before we went in, how not having everything in order, but she has it saved in her phone now, but making sure of having the policies, who I have the policies through, what policy is in what person name, being prepared for, it's almost like
the unexpected.
Yes.
Yeah.
So putting her and you know, you in like in that position, but also putting her, because she's the oldest, you're the youngest, but making her aware and making sure all those things are in proper order before going into there. And I think the day of the surgery is like when it hit me. And as people begin to come and see me, just how detrimental that surgery was and how it could be, and then just going through the healing process of the surgery.
Right.
Like after, I just didn't. I really didn't think of it as something huge.
Any surgery is surgery. It's big surgery. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
So.
And then our brother, like she was saying, Tanya, it's going to take you 6 weeks. Definitely your 6 weeks to get back to where you were. And I was like, because I'm just a go-getter. Right. I'm going to get up, I'm going to go. But actually having to sit still for 6 weeks, and I needed it. Yeah. I've never been away from my job that long. I've never been away from anything where all I can do is just sit on the couch. And during that time, because that's when I was faced with the deceit as well, it also allowed me to just sit in everything and in quiet and in peace and actually walk. And I'm still walking through it, through my healing, and spend intimate times with God. Because everything shifts in my life as far as the sleeping habits, all of that. So that was a process too. That was a process. So how about you? How was your 2023?
I think I will coincide. Like, I'll agree with you. It was a learning experience for me. Yeah, I mean, overall, it was really good. I had a lot of ups, some downs. Okay. But I feel like I learned truly. Like, I feel like I heard you before, but I feel like I really, like, this year kind of just listen to what you mean by when you say, like, stop looking outward and look, like, at yourself and what's going on with yourself, and really just holding myself accountable to things that occur in my life. I feel like I learned patience because I had to, like, failing a class and having to repeat a class, like, something like that I never experienced in my life, and having to go through that and be patient and really understand that it doesn't stop my long-term goal, or it doesn't stop where I'm going. It's just a matter of, taking a little detour and understanding. I feel like I really needed that time. My support system, I feel like I really learned that I'm not alone. I feel like beforehand, not saying that I knew I was alone, but, like, you kind of felt, I feel like I kind of felt a little isolated, and I feel like this year I really appreciated everyone around me, because it was a lot of things that I just didn't talk about, but just being around people and being in people's presence meant a lot to me. Right. So, 2023 was good. I can't say it was bad, because I'm still alive, and it's like the end of the year, and just what I do, for work and the career that I want to be in and the type of people I interact with on a day-to-day at work, it makes me be just more appreciative of what I have in my life and who's around me, and just the emphasis of good health, like, that we really take for granted on the day-to-day basis, because there are really people out here who you think can look amazing on the out front and have the deepest and, are the sickest people out here. So I think that was another thing for me in 2023. I saw a lot that you don't have to always put out in the world. You don't have to look like what you're going through.
True. True.
You don't have to, that is a choice to wallow in your sickness and in your illnesses or in your sadness. You can wake up and choose to be happy. You can wake up and choose to find joy. And really learning how to, just continuing to learn how to, like, love my alone time and finding my little hobbies. Like, I started baking and things like that. It gave myself more time to heal over some things that I emotionally was going through. So I feel like 2023 was good. It was a year that needed to happen. I feel like a lot of things that happened to me, even though they were off of my own choices, I feel like they still needed to happen to help me grow.
So that was like one of the topics that we spoke about.
Yeah.
Like healing.
Yeah.
It was just like a year of healing. But also, too, to piggyback off what you said, I want to give a shout out to everyone from family, friends that constantly reached out, that helped me, that came to see about me when I needed a ride. I needed somebody just to sit with me. I just appreciate all of that from everybody, from the calls, from the texts, and then it gave y'all a snippet of like one day I may have to be chauffeured around and being here, but also that's what I was saying. That was my period of reflecting on God and what I also, because yes, I hear this constantly from family members. I was a tough parent. I was tough. I was tough.
Mm-hmm.
But to understand the importance of discipline and the way that you and your sister show up for me. Like my heart, I can't even express in words. Like that was just awesome. How y'all constantly
Courtney's in the back, y'all.
How y'all constantly showed up, but also too, like, you know, the discipline, because the Bible speaks of not being disciplined, and some people may feel like I was a little bit hard in discipline, but discipline is key.
Yeah.
Because it may felt like to you all I was hard and growing up and raising, but trust me, the world is 10 times harder. And you will not be able to deal with the adversities that are out there in the world that you are barking upon as an adult. And now, I mean, even as Courtney's becoming a mother, you won't even be able to embark on that. You just won't.
No.
You won't. And then, we're going to see, as my mother told me, who is going to be me now? We shall see, honey. We shall see.
Alrighty.
Okay, so.
Are you ready to dive in?
Yes, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Okay,
I'm ready to go.
Just to reiterate the topic, and this is the question, just to kind of get y'all minds to think as we talk about it. Are you making choices that align with your overall well-being? My simple answer is no.
My short answer is no too.
I really, like, if you say yes, please, like, give me your game card. Like,
yes.
Please tell me your secrets to life. You know? Because I feel like through the choices that we make is how we learn what is good for us and what is bad for us. Like, yeah. I don't, I really don't feel like until you make those bad choices that you learn.
I don't know but you know what? I don't know if it's a bad choice.
Okay, maybe it's just, well, do you feel like it's not what would you say would be the choice? What would be the word?
I don't know. Because I want to say it's just not me. It's just not the choice that you should have made. But also, too, in not making those choices that you should have made or paying attention to it, I think that's where the lesson comes.
Right.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
So I kind of basically said it. I feel like oftentimes in the past I've made choices based on my feelings or emotions at the time, not taking into account the consequences that my mental or physical would suffer. Okay. But as I grow closer to God and just continue to walk on my path and read His Word, I'm learning that through the choices that we make, it dictates the path or the season that we're going to be in or where we're going to.
Okay. Well, let me ask this. When I looked at this question, because this is a very impactful question, and I had to sit on it. We've been sitting on it.
Yeah.
and so, when I look at this question, for me, there were 3 words that basically stood out to me. Mm-hmm. And in this was, the words for me was choice, well-being, and then happiness. Those are the 3 words that stood out to me. What were the 3 words, or what actually stood out to you in this question?
So, I chose 2 words.
Okay. What stood out to you?
I chose choices and align.
Okay. So let's unpack.
Okay.
Let's unpack those words. So choice, like what did you say in reference to your choice?
So choices, I first looked up the definition of choice. And it's the decisions or actions we make based on personal experiences or perceptions. I feel like being like a young adult and a young lady, I feel like the choices that I make, I have to be aware of now I need to be more consciously aware that they are consequences that come behind any and every choice that you make.
Okay.
And just being okay with whatever comes behind those choices.
Okay.
I feel like that's kind of why I feel like that word stuck out to me, because it also like emphasizes that you have free will.
Yeah.
So just me walking like with God and things like that, just understanding that He gave us free will.
That's what I was going to say. Yes.
Don't ever
take it for granted.
Yeah, don't take it for granted, and then also don't put the blame on Him or someone else. Like these are your choices.
Correct.
Now, yes, God sends people into your lives and things like that, but ultimately the choices that you make each and every day, like when you wake up and things like that, if you can choose to be sad, or you can choose to be happy.
Correct.
And that's what's gonna, domino effect of throughout your whole day and throughout your life.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's why that stuck out very much for me.
Okay. And for me, life choice is just what I learned is just, like you said, valuing the choice that I have made, even though in this season, and learning that the choice that I made did not give me the outcome that I thought that I was going to have. Mm-hmm. So still embracing the lesson in the choice. So that's what I'm learning to do. Mm-hmm. And for 2024, for me, I'm choosing me. I'm going to choose me. Okay. I'm going to choose loyalty, as far as not only from the other person, but from myself, being loyal to myself, and then just integrity. Okay. Being able to express myself in those ways that I am valued enough where I deserve loyalty and integrity. Also, choosing to be intentional with myself. That's that thing about choosing yourself. Yeah. And even though I may be in a partnership, or I get into a partnership, mm-hmm. or no matter what the relationship is, that I would still choose me, mm-hmm. choose integrity in that situation, and also value me as a person. Yeah. And you'll know in any relationship, friendship, again, parental, any relationship, you'll know if that is your person, because if they value what you are choosing for yourself, they don't get upset or get angry because you are choosing these things for yourself. Mm. And they want to be able to embark and take on, how can I even be a part of it? Mm. Like, how can I help you be a better you? Because I just truly feel that God He used people. He used other humans to build us, to build our character, to build our value. Mm-hmm. And that's why I say always look at yourself and what you may be lacking or what you don't like about yourself, because He may have sent another human to show you, this, and to show you what you need to heal in you. Yeah. And also, too, in return, what can you not just offer yourself, mm-hmm. but what can you offer that other person? Yeah. What is it that you can offer that person? So in 2024...
Definitely looking at relationships like that, it's transactional. But
I think people look at that as bad, but I think every relationship is transactional. Yeah. Let's put that on the table. Every person uses people. People look at that and say, oh my God, this person used me. We use people. That's why God put these people in our lives, because it's something that you're going to need from that person, as well as that person is going to need it from you. Right. It's just, I think where everything gets lost in is just a communication.
Very true. Then also just taking a person at face value and their word. Yeah. What they say is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Don't make up in your head.
You can't make up in your head. Yes. Or, what it is what it says. Yes. Okay, so my second word. My second word was align.
Okay.
Align stuck out to me. So
why?
I looked it up.
Okay.
So align is in the sense of what I'm looking at it is a position of agreement or alliance. I chose this word because I mainly think, like, I feel like my 2023, I really started to put emphasis on more of my relationship with God. And so, like, going into 2024, I just kind of want to keep building off of that, keep building on my spiritual goals. So, in doing that, I feel like a big thing for me is walking in my purpose, truly understanding what my purpose is and walking in my purpose. I feel like I found it. I could be wrong. I'm only 22, but I feel like I feel like I have. I feel like what I do and what I do for work is truly what I was meant to do. Like I feel like I'm meant to be there. The people that I cross and the conversations that I have, the tears I've shed, the prayers I've given, like just those different things that I do. And I don't really share those quite often because I feel like it's very intimate between me and my patients and just me and God. And and the amount of people that I've crossed paths with is just like, I leave the room and I'll just be like, I feel like I was meant, like, I was meant to pick up that paper and talk to this person today. Like, it's just those type of things. So just align for me is just really learning to submit to his will. That's what I took from that word, and just really letting go of what I believe my life should pan out to look, and then just accepting what's to come.
I just want to add something to that statement you were saying about purpose. I have read on that and studied that also too in 2023, and it's not your purpose. You're born with your purpose. He gives us our purpose when we're in the womb. So and I feel like people have that wrong, like you got to find it, you have to do it. He gives it to us automatically. And your act of service, the field that you're in is act of service. The field that you and your sister are in are act of service.
Right.
And when I look at myself and I said, and I get joy out of serving people. As y'all know, I serve you all. So when service is just, again, who I am. That is who you are. That's why the field you're in, you have that act of service. But that was also Jesus' purpose. He was a server. Yeah. Even though he was the head, he never even had to show it or to gloat about it or to say it. He was present and he was there.
Yes.
And he also served his disciples. He also washed their feet. The act of service in relationships is so great. It is so great. So that is part of not just your purpose, but that's his purpose. That's how you know you are aligned and you are walking with him. So that word align, that's truly that's a good word. Mine's was, and I'm gonna put them together, well-being and happiness, because kind of like when I looked up the definition, for me it's like well-being and happiness.
They're both states of being, right?
Yes. So the definition of well-being and happiness, it says well-being is a state of being healthy, happy, comfortable, both physically and mentally. So it's like that state, like you said, that state of being. And why I chose those two and from those words also derive from discernment. Like discernment and contentment. So let's speak on contentment just a little bit. So contentment is a strong word, and that's where we all should be in, I feel like, in our state of life.
Yeah, in whatever season you're in.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't feel like contentment is good. They feel like it's settling. It's not. We have the wrong definition of it, because it speaks of, in the Bible, 1 Timothy 6:6, it says, but godliness with contentment is great gain. That contentment, and it also says in Timothy 6:11, but you, man of God, flee from flee from all this and pursue righteousness, godliness, faith, love, endurance, and gentleness. And contentment is being happy with whatever situation you're in. And it also is being happy with self. You're not looking outside for anything to fulfill you because it is in you. It is fulfilled. It is inside of us. So your well-being, I feel like is so important because it also speaks of just like that well-being with the mind. Like your mind has to be settled. In this season of my life too, in 2024, I'm starting to go back to reading because I have been a reader. So one of the books that I read was The Garden of Eden. Mm-hmm. And this book, that was my first book I read at the end of 2023. And that book, who was the book by? This book was by Dr. Anita Phillips. Okay. And what made me pick up that book, because the author wrote about, she is a trauma psychiatrist, and she's also a pastor. Mm-hmm. And she spoke about mental illness because she sought the Bible to understand what happened to her sister. Mm-hmm. Her sister suffered from mental illness. Mm-hmm. And so she wanted to get an understanding. And we always say, pray about things. We always say, God will do it in prayer and all that. But also it takes an action from us. So your well-being, your state of mind, that's very important. And that's also important when you're trying to understand relationships, just like ours. Being a mother, you're my daughter. Being, at one point, a wife. Being a friend. Being a supervisor, a manager. I have always been curious with the mind. So it helps me understand other people's mental states and not look at that as a sin against that person or that it's something bad. Because by you understanding where that person is mentally, it'll give you a better understanding of who that person is. Mm-hmm. And that you know what they may do, it's not against you. Mm-hmm. It's not against you. And that book helped me understand, not only did it help me understand that her capacity and her drive to understand her sister's issues because she lost her sister, and because of her mental abuse, not her mental abuse, her mental illness, excuse me, and she discovered scriptures in the Bible. And she discovered where Jesus was faced with a lot of emotion. High, as we will call it here, high in anxiety. When he went up to that mountain to pray because he didn't want to die. Mm. Because he was God wrapped in the flesh. Mm. He did not want to die. So he felt just like us. Anxious. He cried. Questioned why are we here, what we wanted to do. So for me, just me and who I am, that has always been my will. That's always, and it's helped me out as a parent because it helped me understand and not put you and your sister in a box. Mm-hmm. Because y'all are two different humans. So in raising you all, I could not handle or communicate to you all the same because you're different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So well-being, I feel like it was good. And just happiness. Happiness is a state, meaning happiness will come and go. But contentment in something is everlasting.
Very true.
It's everlasting. So.
Very true.
Yes.
That was good.
So I just wanna well, do you have anything you want to lay down?
No, alignment was my last.
Okay. And also too, I just want to close by.
Oh, I do.
Oh, you do? You have something you want to add? What you want to add?
Okay, so this is from like a little article that I put. This will be like my closing to it, just to bring into.
So what is your
alignment? Okay. So from this, I'm gonna read directly from the article. So to allow God to bring alignment into our lives, it involves being open and receptive to the changes, redirections, and transformations that He may initiate. It requires letting go of control and surrendering our circumstances, relationships, finances, careers, health, and overall life direction to Him. I just want to invite everybody in the room to invite God into your space, to work in you and through you, and shape us and you all into the individuals He created us to be.
Okay, and I want to piggyback on that. Well, my closing is simple. You can't serve two masters. There's only one. And Pastor Mike Todd, I follow him. I'm listening to some of his sermons. And something that he says that stick out is, let me see, what is not transformed, meaning our indiscretions, meaning us learning from one another, meaning us getting help to understand our discretions, will be transformed into the next generation. Mm. So I say this to people: if it's something that you did not like or that was uncomfortable in your growing up, in your relationships, that is and now, work on that. Because you don't want to transfer that down to your children. Mm. So the correction begins with self.
And that's how we enter 2024.
Yes. Woohoo. And we are out.
Bye.
Bye.
Question is, so just to reiterate the question as we leave out, ask yourself, are you making choices that align with your overall well-being and happiness?
Till next time.